and welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jack, we're in Keyboard Corner, and I'm joined by...
Mark from Novation.
All right, my man!
How you doing?
And we're here
Yes.
sometime, a place in time and space, to check out something that's going to be brand new to you. It's the Novation Peak. Tell me what it is.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to be here, first of all.
Cool.
I kind of feel like the cast of Star Wars, you know what I mean? When the trailer broke, I forgot I can finally talk about this thing.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing. So, yeah, we basically got our new 8-voice polyphonic synthesizer, which is using both digital and analog technology.
Great. And what drove you to make this? Obviously, I know the heritage in the bass station,
Yes,
obviously,
yeah.
which is a classic.
Yeah.
And this foray into the poly world.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of stemmed really from the history of the bass station, and you know, us at Novation, we're big fans of Analogue. You know, you only need to look at the bass station 2. It's an analog mono synth. It's an absolute beast. So, but I think it would have been too easy to do just like a polyphonic version of the bass station.
Yeah.
So with Peak, what we've kind of got is using both digital and analog sort of technology. It really kind of moves on the experience and enhances that kind of analog experience.
Lovely. Now, before we get into the guts of that, because it sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know people want to know. They always want to know, like,
yeah,
how analog is it, and really, does it matter?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But we're going to talk about it. Let's have a listen, and we'll go through the different bits of the synth.
Yeah.
What we got on? We've got an incredible patch.
Yeah.
Trouser mover.
Trouser mover, yeah. So really kind of fat kind of bass sound, and what you can kind of do, one of the things that you can do with Peak is you've got this animate as kind of like a sort of modulation source essentially. So if you tap on
let's
the
just
bass,
go for it, yeah.
what we can do is we can just enhance that. And then bring in the second animate button. So basically we've got those kind of animate buttons where you can use as modulation. Obviously we'll get into the modulation matrix in a bit, but it's just a warm kind of rich tone that this thing just produces.
And what a great name, whoever named that
Peak.
patch.
Oh, Trouser Mover, yeah.
Yeah, do we know who named the patch?
I don't. There's a few people involved in the patch design stuff, and
you nailed
loads
it,
of
guys.
people, but yeah.
Have yourself
amazing.
a biscuit. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Right, now that's a patch, and
Yeah.
I'd love to, if we can, like break up the different bits and have a little look through. So we start with the oscillator section.
Yeah, we'll start with the oscillator section. I mean, the kind of the best way to describe kind of what's going on, because I mean, a few people are probably like, well, digital and analog together, you know. Where is it kind of digital? Where is it analog? So I mean, the real kind of brain or the kind of real sort of central part of this digital technology that's going on is located on the FPGA processor, which is inside it. So by FPGA, we're talking about a field programmable gate array processor that's built inside this thing.
This is blow my mind.
So yeah, it's absolutely mind-blowing to understand. But if we just kind of break down what's producing this almost
so the processor is called
indistinguishable analog sound. FPGA.
FPGA. Cool.
So field programmable gate array processor built inside.
Right.
Now, if you think about kind of digital synths that are available on the market, we're talking about sort of digital to analog conversion.
Yeah, right.
We're talking, you know, sort of like 48 kilohertz, 96 kilohertz. We're talking like 48,000.
So a normal digital synth is kicking out sound
96. You know, 96,000 samples per second. Peak. Are you ready for this?
Come on.
Is running at 24 megahertz. So we're talking we're talking 24 million samples per second. So what that kind of gives us is a sound that is indistinguishable from analog.
So you've managed to make noughts and ones come out at such a quality that it sounds, because that is literally moving my trousers.
We literally, an app name for the patch, right? So we literally put this in
I'm
front
so glad, I mean, and I love wearing my slacks, and I got them on today. I'm glad I had them on. So
we put this in front of an artist. I wish we kind of blindfolded them, but They couldn't basically say that this
nothing to do with the synth.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But they couldn't tell until we told them it was, you know, kind of the guts were digital.
Sweet.
They couldn't tell. They thought it was an analog synth.
Great. So can we listen to those core balls?
So let's so what we'll do, we'll start in the oscillator section.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a initial patch here.
Oh,
so
my favourite. That's it.
And a patch. So
that was really easy.
Yeah, so we just using the menu to kind of navigate. We've got 4 banks, so sort of bank C and D is completely clear for you to put your own patches on. So we've got initialized patch there. So we look at the oscillator section that's going on. We've got 3 oscillators. We talked about the rate that these are producing waveforms, but they're NCO. Numerically controlled oscillators, so they're basically using mathematics, trigonometry to generate a perfect sine wave, and at the rate that we're doing it, it's pretty much kind of like perfect at these kind of frequencies. So what we do is we're just in the mixer here, we just turn down oscillator 2 and make sure oscillator 3. So we just turn up oscillator 1. So we're on a basic kind of sawtooth way there.
Poly. By the way, this is great. We're just trying out having another bit of Novation gear.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like the lights are showing me the majors.
It's great. So we're running in a chromatic layout. The cool thing about Launchpad Pro is you've got scales modes now. So if you're kind of tight on space in the studio, you know, this is a desktop, so it's not taking up commanding too much room.
And for me to get away from the keyboard.
So we've got a chromatic layout going on, and the cool thing is Launchpad Pro does Polyphonic Aftertouch, which is something we can utilise with.
Oh, we're going to get to
Peak
that. That's going to be exciting.
Really cool. So we've got
one oscillator running at the moment.
One oscillator running. I'm going to change this into the sine wave so you can hear the sine wave. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to keep the filter open and turn the resonance down on the filter.
Okay, so
you
this
can hear
is
a pure.
Let's do
just
it.
Hear the oscillators, yeah.
What I always liked about the base station was I thought it had a really fat. I know this ain't the same thing.
Yeah.
I know it's completely different, but I think that as a company, you are amazing at
Thank you.
rich sine waves that aren't boring. Like that is lovely. Yeah. So I won't play too much.
So there's your sine wave. Yeah. Let's jump to. We've got triangle here. Yeah. So we jump in the triangle. Yeah. Here's the sawtooth, which we started on, and we jump to the square wave. So I'm going to cover the other setting in a minute in a bit more detail, but we'll just go through what we've got on each oscillator. So we start from left to right. We've obviously got a pitch range, so we can just kind of jump through those.
And the same on each oscillator. Sometimes they drop it on some synths. That's a really cool feature. Yeah,
it's a good feature. And also we've obviously got pitch, coarse, and fine settings. Nice. Now, one of the cool things about it, yes, it is a digital FPGA that's generating these NCOs, these waveforms. So talking about pitch, on some digital synths that are not running at this rate, you can kind of get this stepping when you go through the coarse and fine, you know, the pitch adjustment.
And that's one of those things that guys who want to find out about the analog and the digital thing, sometimes with the digital you can hear the stepping and it just turns people off, I think.
So have a go at this. You press a key and then we'll... So we're using slewing on this, so you get this kind of perfect pitch adjustment with no kind of stepping.
So you can
nice
do those
smooth,
really. When you say slew, it's a bit like slop.
Yeah, kind of those rounding off those, kind of points. So you've got a perfect kind of.
I like it. I'm going to say it, on the Dave Smith stuff. Some of the digital they've got a thing called slop.
Yeah.
And you can just and again it gives it like a character. It's cool.
Absolutely,
It sounds.
So it's pitches.
Yeah, cool.
Great on each one. And obviously you've got a fine adjustment as well. Now, one of the cool things as well, and this is when we go back to like what digital kind of gives us with this, is we've got a control for shape amount. Now, what shape amount's going to allow you to do is essentially, shape the waveform, which is something you just don't kind of get.
on each
type oscillator.
On each oscillator, so
on each waveform.
I dig that.
For example, if we jump to the sawtooth.
Yeah, let's do it.
So if I start with this shape amount, you can kind of hear that we're pretty much doubling up the sawtooth. So we kind of get this real kind of super saw sound.
Completely different timbre. So
absolutely. So this is what the shape amount allows you to do. And on sawtooth setting, you of course get that double saw. If we had it hooked up to an oscilloscope, you could kind of see that double saw.
I think I've got. No, I don't. But
so, and the other thing as well, we have modulation for the shaper mount as well. So at the moment we're on a manual.
Yeah.
But we can kind of change this to LFO1, and we can add some sort of control, and then now we can adjust the rate of the LFO1. So LFO1 is now modulating the shaper mount.
Wicked.
With the LFOs, we can change the waveform of the LFO as well. So we just run.
That looks really. When we get there, we'll get to fully the LFOs, featured. Yeah. And so that's one of those oscillator sections. Yep. Should we just stack up like three?
Absolutely. So three
saws. Should we do it? Yeah.
So what I'll do is just reinitialize that patch, so we're not using the LFO1 as modulation.
I love that you've got an initialize button. I hate it. I just want to get to the core every time and then build up. Yes,
build
that's
up
cool,
from there. Nice. So what we'll do, we'll bring in all three oscillators. So we'll bring in a second oscillator.
Yeah.
And we'll bring in a third oscillator, and then what we'll do is just kind of.
Sorry, mate. Feels sturdy.
Yeah.
And I like that I'm getting all the readout as well.
Yeah, you get the readout on the menu as well. So what I'm gonna do is just do a bit of kind of.
Oh, we'll have a listen as well. Yeah. Taylor's pulling funny faces. You getting excited about a synthesizer? Oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Synths are cool.
Amazing. We knocked a few of the oscillators out of pitch, which is great. So we've got all oscillators together going there. So there are some hardwired normal modulation on here as well. We'll get to the modulation in a bit, but we have obviously LFO2 that can modulate the pitch of each oscillator, and envelope section as well. So
that's so cool how it's kind of plumbed in there, ready for people.
It's all there, yeah. It's all there, which I love about. Since we got it on the base station as well, it's all kind of hardwired. Cool thing about this, obviously, we've got the modulation matrix we'll look at in a minute. But
so we've got oscillators, and we're gonna. Then obviously we want to start filtering them.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I think.
Should we, or do you want to go, or do you want to LFO them?
Well, yeah. I mean, what we can do is there are other digital elements of what's going on. So the FPGA inside is obviously running the oscillators at a ridiculous rate.
Yeah.
But we've also got other forms.
24 mil.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got other forms of things that are being run by the FPGA, which is the modulation sources. So we've got the LFO1. And
so they're generating, the same brain's generating these LFOs.
Yeah, and for those that need to know, it's running at 1K on the LFOs, which is very, very fast.
Have you got that? You've written that down, Taylor? Good.
Which is a real plus, because it means that, if we, for example, just turn oscillator 1 and 2 down, and just keep this oscillator 1 on. Yeah. So if we add some depth on LFO2, now on the LFOs themselves, we've got different settings. We can set different sine waves right up to sample and hold as well.
Oh, I love sample and
hold.
A bit of nut job.
So we add a bit of depth.
I love it.
And
short circuit.
Also, what we can do is we've got rates that the LFO runs at. So we've got a low, we've got a high.
Oh, and that will change the range on the knob.
Yeah.
I see.
And like we said, because they're running at 1K, it's a ridiculous rate that the LFOs are running.
Exactly, because sometimes people that's so much scope, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times on the on some of the affordable synths I've tried, it doesn't get up to that audio range. But
that's also, again all down to the brains of the FPGA and
that you
the way
can dial
we're
it in. You've thought about it. I love that.
Yeah.
Bit like on a new Strymon, again, I'm always trying to bring in the guitar heads out there.
Yeah,
like on the new Strymon, Riverside and Sunset, they've kind of set the knobs so it just can't, in usable gain ranges. And this is already I can hear usable settings there.
So there's the LFOs, we've got two LFOs. Just to finish up on the digital side of things with the envelope, and we'll talk about the effects in a minute. Envelopes, there's three envelopes, so we've got amp envelope and we've got two modulation envelopes, which are selectable.
Oh, cool.
Which is a really cool thing. And again, we've got some modulation we can apply to both pitch and also the filter as well. But again, just to go back to the digital guts of this thing and the ridiculous rates it's running at, we again just initialize the patch, we'll just keep one oscillator up. So let me just show you the amp envelope. So normally, again, with digital synths, the way this is running, you get them really short, snappy envelope.
Yeah.
And again, that's the rate that this.
So good for percussive sounds.
Perfect. Yeah.
Again, like sometimes people have different. I thought, were you getting a bit crunk there, Tay? I wish you could see what I saw. Guys, I've gone to studios, especially dance guys, trance and things, absolutely, you have to have a different keyboard just for making the blips, because of just on the snappiness of the envelope. So that's cool. And
it's super snappy.
I do like seeing what voices are being used.
It's showing you, on the top here, active voices,
Sorry, I just love that.
So we're almost finished on kind of digital sides of it. One of the amazing things about Peak and the digital is the effects. And let me just, so what we're going to do, again, we'll just initialize. We're going to bring all oscillators in at the moment. We're going to stick on the sawtooth, and then we'll just do the little kind of detune. Each oscillator 2, and then detune oscillator 3. So with the effects now, what I'm going to do is bring in the reverb. Now, the reverb on this thing is amazing.
Right.
People have actually said, can you just make the reverb on its own?
Could be a pedal.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, there you go.
Guitar pedals from Novation.
There we go. So this reverb, if we just kind of put some reverb in.
Oh yeah, I'm just going to have a little play with that.
Yeah, go for it. So again, this is down to the rates that are running the FPGA at. Allows you to get that really detailed quality reverb.
Right, so we got first reverb. Second one, there's a bit more modulation.
Yeah.
And more on the third one as well.
Can really, like with the reverbs, get them kind of real sound kind of scapes going on for kind of movie score stuff.
Ah, so handy.
So the reverb is sensational.
Let's try a little bit of subtle bit on.
Yeah.
Oh, so I've got a level crank.
And also we've got...
it just puts a little bit of air around it.
It does, yeah.
Well,
exactly
it's got quite an extreme range, which I think is wicked.
Yeah, and
nice.
And that's just the reverb. We've got a chorus.
And
also a digital delay.
And a bypass.
Yeah, this is a true bypass. So basically when we
all
leave
the pedal guys literally
it's a dream.
Blew their
it's a dream. So if you still want to keep the sound completely analog on output, you can do a true bypass. So you can bypass the digital effects section.
Nice.
The reverb, and it's just sensational.
Okay, but we've got the delay in there as well.
Yeah, got delay. Yeah,
so
we can add some delay. And for those electronic guys as well, if you dive into the effects section within here, you can also add kind of beat divisions of the delay as well.
So all the subdivisions,
timings,
that's
everything.
Cool. So we can pretend to be the edge, but on keyboard. Yeah.
All in the effects section within the menu of Peak, which is
and
quality.
this sync as well. Obviously, it will accept clock and sync to that.
Yeah, everything on the inside. Yeah. So that I think that kind of rounds up the digital side, really.
And was it distortion, digitale?
Yeah. So distortion.
I just want to hear all the effects.
A really good link. So this leads us on to what's analog.
I just want a little bit of chorus as well.
A little bit of chorus.
So if we turn this delay down, and then I'm going to get in here and just see if I can bust out a chord. So one type of chorus.
Yeah.
That's no chorus. Turn the reverb off. And then we're going to put a little bit of chorus in. That's the first one.
Nice.
A bit more wobbly. Wobbly again.
So
nice.
Lovely and thick. Nice. So it's the distortion you mentioned. That literally nicely leads us on to what's analog about Peak is.
Cool.
We talked about the brain, the rates this is running at, and that's what gives a nice kind of detailed, indistinguishable analog sound to this. But as we know with most synths, what gives character is the filter.
Yeah.
And the filter is taken from the Bass Station 2,
right?
Which is an amazing filter. So what we've got going on is we've got a state variable filter. So we've got low pass. bandpass settings. Now we've also got obviously high pass as well.
All at the different slopes as well?
Yeah, so we've got different slopes. Again, similar to what was on the Bass Station 2. So we've got 12 dB per octave or 24 dB per octave. So this can be really good for like poly sounds.
Exactly.
You can just get that nice kind of release.
It's it's subtle, but the more and more I play the synths, I realise it's a really important feature.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course we've got resonance as well.
Cool.
So,
let's do it. Should we go half mast?
So we can really kind of make this.
We'll go 24 low pass. We'll put that halfway. Let's go full whack. Sorry, everyone out there. Wow!
And you really had your filter face down then.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I was feeling it, man.
So yeah,
like
resonance
an angry
control.
tabby.
You did, yeah. And obviously we've got adjustable key tracking as well. So it's pretty cool.
So
So there's three phases of distortion, analog distortion. So we've got obviously a pre-filter distortion, and then
so that's driving into the filter.
From the oscillators, driving into the filter. Getting nasty. So, yeah, we've also got a global distortion and obviously a distortion after the VCA as well.
So what's so we got one more distortion, and I like you got little arrows. Post, so that's after.
Post
so let's.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Absolutely nice. So
proper.
3 stages of analog distortion. So that really kind of covers the analog stuff. And obviously we've got again normal modulation hardware settings here, so we can add LFO1 to modulate the filter.
Really easily set.
Really easy.
Yeah, and there's already a knob there for you to do it. It's cool.
And obviously oscillator 3 filter modulation. So we'll get into that in a second. We'll also touch on the modulation matrix in a minute.
Nice.
So that kind of covers digital and analog.
I just spotted it. I'm having a little look around.
Yeah,
got the ARP over there. Looks pretty.
Yeah. And again, we've got ARP settings within Peak's menu. So again, you could
they're the things that I think are cool for menus.
Yes.
You know, like everything.
Totally, yeah.
We've literally just flown around that and not had to see one menu. No. And then at the end of it, you go, on the ARPs, that's what it's good for. And the delay, like you said, subdivisions, for real.
Amazing. So I think, that's covering the digital and analog aspects of it. Now, one thing I need to touch on with the oscillators, which we didn't dive into.
Right.
Everyone loves a more button.
So
there's more.
Nice.
So there's peak plus more.
Peak plus more.
Plus more. So what we're gonna dive into or delve into here is something again that you only get with using digital kind of engine.
Yeah.
So with the more setting, if we dive into the oscillator page, we can jump on the page select here, and we can select the wave more setting. So what this is, we're now talking about wavetables.
Oh, cool.
So with wavetables, we've got a variety of different waves that we can select for the oscillator. So this one here, people will recognise is the Bass Station sine wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's loads of different ones. I hope so. the Novation fans.
Everyone's like,
yeah, absolutely. So, and again, this is something you don't get with.
Have a little flick through. So, octaves.
Octaves, wobbler. This is a favourite one.
Wow.
And don't forget, obviously, we discussed the shaper mount, the wave shaping.
Yeah.
So we can now shape this.
I'm in love with the shape of the wave.
And what the shaper mount's doing is essentially blending through those wave tables.
It's like pulse, like having pulse width on every oscillator.
Kind of, yeah.
That's what I see it
as. It's just
as.
literally kind of crossing or cross-fading between those wave tables. So, yeah. A plethora of different...
A plethora.
Yeah.
That's how many we've got.
We like that, yeah. So, and again, selectable for each oscillator via the Moore setting. So layering up these kind of wavetables, it just gives...
piano organ,
even more
wind,
scope for building sounds.
Fucking didgeridoo? What?
Sounds amazing.
Oh, kidding? Sorry, we just watched an obscure Australian goat video before we started. That was our preparation for this video. Yeah. And it's gone pretty well, I thought.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so
are we going to dive into the modulation matrix?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I've just been told off for saying, apparently I say we're back a lot when we take a little gap, but hey, we're back anyway. Just to spite Taylor in the corner, because me and him are at it today. Right, we've gone through all the bits, and another great bit you kind of touched on was this mod matrix. Let's have a look in it.
So mod matrix wise, if you're familiar with Ultranova, if you've got yourself Circuit, which is our little groove box, you'll be familiar with the editor software, and it has a quite deep mod matrix. So it's the same with Peak, and essentially what you're doing is turning Peak into a modular system. So you're taking something from a source and then plugging it into a destination.
And that's on the software?
Well, no, it's within here.
It's
within
here?
the menu, yeah.
Cool.
So it's essentially, like modular kind of setups without the kind of cables, really.
Right.
So we jump into the mod matrix, and we've got 16 different slots, and you can apply two different sources to each modulation slot.
Right.
Yeah, so we've got slot 1 here, so what we'll do is we'll just do some simple kind of modulation.
Mark just knocked up this patch.
So again, we just got 3 oscillators running
really
a
quick.
sawtooth.
It just made us 2 seconds.
Yeah. So we'll just do some simple kind of modulation just to kind of show you what's going on. So we're going to select the filter frequency, which is always a bit of a favourite.
Yeah.
So that's on the destination, and then we're going to jump to page 2, and we're just going to take the source and we're going to apply it to the aftertouch. And what I'm going to do is add a bit of depth, and then when you press down and hold the aftertouch, we should get...
You did say before we started that this bit of kit, it's got not only aftertouch but polyphonic aftertouch.
Correct, yeah. So Launchpad Pro does polyphonic aftertouch, and
which is really nice.
So
we
can use that with Peak.
After the fact,
what
I'm going to do is press down a bit harder. So literally, imagine you press and then give it a little bit more beans.
That's it, yeah.
I don't know if you ever played with aftertouch before. It's just extra expression.
Completely, yeah.
And it's really nice, especially in the dance world.
Yeah.
If you want to press on it, and then basically you can kind of vibe it with how hard you're pressing.
Absolutely, There you go, you got it.
Oh, it's so sensitive.
Yeah, I love the pads on Launchpad Pro. They're just...
And the polyphonic means that each finger will have its own setting, which is really nice for chords. If you have a controller keyboard that can do the polyphonic aftertouch, really nice, and setting in the mod matrix with pitch as well. There's those James Blakey sounds.
Completely, and don't forget you've got 8 voices, so like expression is just mad. And we're just applying that to the aftertouch, to the filter frequency. So I mean, obviously you can put that anywhere you want for the aftertouch.
And you've got 16 of those.
Yeah,
what we just set up there.
16 and 2 sources per slot. It's it's very, very deep.
I'm getting close to my dream of boiling an egg with a synthesizer. I want it to kick out that much modular power.
Yeah,
we're going to do it live on Enter the CV.
So I guess that's kind of it. I mean, Peak is capable of linear FM synthesis as well, which I think we're going to cover with.
Yeah, so you've got wavetables in there. It sounds analog as hell. In terms of fatness, for me, when I feel bad when I say that, when people say like it's analog, same in the guitar world, digital, it's just all sounding so good now.
It's just.
But you got FM as well. So.
Yeah, so we got linear FM synthesis, which I know is something that definitely synth enthusiasts really requested their synth. So we basically have that within Peak. So what we'll do is just initialize things again.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is we'll go, we're in the modulation matrix page. And then what we'll do is we'll go back to page 1 and we'll look at the destination. If we keep going, we'll start going into the FM stuff. So by FM, obviously what we're doing is we're using another oscillator's selected waveform, just folding that back in and using it as a modulation source to modulate another oscillator.
It's actually very well and succinctly explained, mate.
Yes,
nice one.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. So yeah, essentially that's what we're doing with FM synthesis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select oscillator 3. So we're going to take oscillator 3's settings, and then we're going to basically use that to modulate oscillator 1.
Nice.
So what we'll do is we'll take oscillator 3 out so we don't hear it, but we just use it as a modulation source. And we'll take oscillator 2 out, so we're only hearing oscillator 1.
Right.
So if we add some depth of control, and then what we kind of do here is just...
I'm so sorry, I keep playing the note.
Whenever
you've got a
you
gap...
get lost, you get so lost with this thing, it's amazing.
Every gap you're talking, I'm going... Okay.
So now if we just knock some of the pitch core setting off on oscillator 3, we should now kind of start...
Oh, can I hit it now? Oh, right, yeah.
If we go a bit higher up the scale...
Yes.
Yeah, so we kind of...
There's really crystalline, bell-like,
bell-like,
Blade Runner.
That's it, Blade Runner.
Well, with the wavetable and this, you got all the Vangelis.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Shit.
And we can use shape amount, so we can really kind of start really hearing those FME kind of sounds.
Yeah.
So yeah, and obviously we can do loads with that.
You can just... So you're doing that in the mod matrix. You've got all the 16 slots for it.
Yeah. So I mean, we could go one step further if we really wanted. Probably not for this, but we can essentially we've got oscillator 3 modulating oscillator 1, and we can then take that and fold that back into oscillator 2. You can kind of set it up however you want. So really getting those kind of FME
we've gone
kind
through
of
an
sounds.
Absolute plethora of sounds there.
Yeah.
And that's the whole shebang, really, isn't it? Going through it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I suppose
it's the technical word shebang as well.
Shebang, yeah. So I mean, the last real thing is, we've got this wonderful kind of desktop.
Why? It's not got one. You haven't got another version out with keyboards.
No.
Why go for this?
So I mean, really, it's kind of like everything's kind of in this little box. It's nicely kind of condensed. It's the weight of it feels. Can I? Stunning. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, it feels. When you spend money on synth, you want it to feel like you've paid your money. You've got a great feeling product, but also like space saving. Not everyone's got a massive studio space, or this doesn't command enough room, or they might just have one keyboard,
controller keyboard,
one keyboard, or if you're into MIDI controllers, you can obviously.
I could imagine a lovely bag accompanying this.
Yeah,
like a.
Don't rule it out, but obviously we've got the nice kind of boutique kind of finish on the side.
Yeah.
But you will be able to order the upright stand separately as well.
Oh. Nice.
So that'll be coming. So you can have it nicely kind of mounted on the stand.
Oh, lovely.
And I suppose the last thing to really touch on, although we've not got it hooked up, we've also got a CV input as well. So modular guys will be really happy. Euro rack guys will be really happy because you can plug it into your modular setup, use that as an input, and modulate Peak with your
bit of
modular setup.
With your Euro trash.
Yeah,
I miss Euro trash, man. Don't you miss Euro trash? I don't know, maybe it's just me. Okay, should we set up a little... Hang on. And then what I'd love to do is leave this video with this arpeggio going. Should we do it?
Yeah, man.
Right, thanks so much, man.
Thank you so much.
And it's been a privilege. Check out the Peak, come down to Andertons, play with it, enjoy it. See you.